Hey everyone, welcome back to Sweet Beat TV. I'm your host, Sienna Leone, and today I am so honored and excited to say Gabi Butler, who stars in Netflix's Cheer, is joining me. Good morning, Gabi.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for joining me again. We are such a huge fan of Cheer, and we are such a huge fan of you, so major congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm a big fan of yours as well.
Thank you. That's an honor. Now, season 2 is out. How are you feeling? Is it still such a surreal experience, Gabi?
It's definitely a surreal feeling. I feel like even with the first season, it was very non-expected. It was kind of like, we're going to just do our thing, and then the series blew up and it just kind of became like a hit overnight. And now we just got rolling right into the second season, and I'm just really excited for you guys to meet all the new people that are brought into this season. There's a lot of twists and turns and a lot of ups and downs in the season, so it should be like super action packed, a lot of it's very dramatic and it's emotional. So yes, I'm very excited.
Absolutely. Now, looking at season 1, I mean, you guys gained so much love and fandom from all around the world. And there were some big time celebrities that actually were very vocal about loving your guys' Netflix show and loving you guys. I mean, you're Cheer celebrities. So what was it like having that celebrity support? And was there one big celebrity that you were kind of like, a pinch me moment, they really love me, this is real?
I definitely feel like just having all the support and love, like after the first season, it was just so unexpected. And like for famous people, like actual famous people outside of cheerleading to know like who we were, it was just so, yeah, it was very like, is this real life? Like, is this happening? And is this really going on? But I would have to say I would say the person that I feel like I was like, oh my gosh, like when they reached out to me or said they watched the show was Skylar Aston. He was on Pitch Perfect, and as a, teenage girl, I was always watching Pitch Perfect. I was always like super into that movie. I don't know why. It was just like such a good movie, and I definitely I saw his face and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's kind of the
like, this is real. Also, hello, Kendall Jenner wearing your Cheer uniform on Ellen was a pretty huge one too.
Yes, and I wasn't there for that, but like when I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But yeah, it was definitely like really, it was just so bizarre when there's like a bunch of like actual like famous people outside of like our little world, like talking and basically saying like, yeah, we know you guys, we watch your show. And I was like, what?
Absolutely. Now let's talk about season 2. I binge watched it last night. I mean, so much respect for you, so much respect for your team, but for the fans and viewers at home, tell them what they could be expecting from season 2 of Cheer.
So what I can tell the viewers and like all the fans that are going to be watching season 2, I would definitely say that there's a lot of emotional parts, and there's a lot of, I'm sure there's going to be happy moments, there's going to be sad moments, there's going to be just literally like a roller coaster of emotions throughout the whole season. And with COVID and everything, that was also just something that really threw us off, and we had to basically get back onto our grind and our track and overcome. There's a lot of things that we had to overcome like over the past 2 years. So definitely a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, challenging times. I mean, you guys really maneuvered in the world we're living in. But Gabi, I want to know, do you think Cheer, this Netflix series, has brought awareness, to the cheerleading community?
I definitely do think that this series has brought a lot of awareness, like in general, not even just for cheerleaders, but for the cheer community, like especially obviously. I definitely think that before people watched the series, like the first season, I don't think that a lot of people had a lot of respect for cheerleaders, and I think it really brought way more recognition and more respect to cheerleading because people just thought it was pom-poms and glitter and like all this showy stuff. And I'm like, it's so much more than that.
I mean, you guys work so hard. It is so impressive. Now, is there ever pressure? Navarro is the best of the best, and you're basically leading this team. So many of your teammates have so much love and respect for you. So how do you deal with this pressure, Gabi, and, overcome it?
I would definitely say, like, I'm kind of thankful for the way that I was brought up, just because I, at such a young age, was kind of just like in the limelight, not as much as I am now, but I was like, it was starting for me when I was younger. So it's something that I've kind of prepped for, and it's something that I'm used to. It's not something that I'm like new to. It's not something I'm just getting thrown into. So I've like been my parents have really helped me like throughout the years of just like preparing and just being like super accountable and just, representing myself in the best possible way. And of course, like, I'm gonna mess up, I'm gonna have slip ups, and no one's perfect, but I definitely just try, I think, for me to be as genuine as possible, because I want people to know that I'm just like them, and I have my flaws too, and I just want to be relatable to people, and I want to be like a positive influence on my team and like the people who look up to me, and I just want them to know like I'm always there for them.
Absolutely. And you do a great job at that in season 2. Now, speaking about your parents, I love them. I love seeing them on this show. They crack me up. Their dynamic cracks me up. Their dynamic with you is amazing. Now, they say in season 2 that they try not to micromanage you. Do you believe that?
See, I truly do believe that my parents, like, they keep a good amount of like space. So my dad specifically, he's always helped me with like the business side of things, just because if I'm going to be honest, like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have all the opportunities I've gotten, because
Right.
he's like a super smart businessman. So he's really helped me over the years, like, just honestly mold me into the woman I am today. And then also, yeah, I would say that they have my parents and I have a great relationship. Like, we're the type of family that we're going to tell it straight. And if you don't like it, like, you just have to have tough skin. So I would definitely say like we have a crazy family for sure, but I wouldn't trade them for the world, honestly.
Hey, you guys work. It is awesome. And no one's going to be in your corner like your parents. I mean, that is true.
Yeah, they've definitely been my number one supporters like throughout my whole entire life. So
Now, looking at season 2, who would you say, on your team, you kind of meshed the best with this season? We're not going to be picking favorites, but, who would you say you kind of meshed the best with?
honestly, I think 2020, I feel like instantly, as soon as I met Maddie Brum, I really clicked with Maddie a lot, because she had that crazy, like, fiery personality, and I feel like we just played off of each other, because I was like, we both are very similar but very different in
Right.
a sense. So I would say Maddie Brum, that has been like one of my favorite people like throughout the whole entire thing. And then also I would say that TT and Derek and Ty and Jay, they are all my favorites. Like, I think those people, specifically that group, like TT, Derek, Jay, and Ty, those were like my babies. So
Anyone that got under the skin this season, maybe for sassiness or anything like that?
honestly, no one really ever got under my skin, just because I always I always kind of give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like, they might be going through something. So if they are like a little off or they're acting feisty, like, I'm gonna let them do their, like, give them space and let them do them. But if they are feisty to me, then it's like, okay, that's when I'm like, all right, let me just tell you guys.
Yeah. Hey, you're a true leader. You're a true leader.
Yeah. And I just want to see people happy. Like, that's honestly my end goal, is to make sure everyone is happy and make sure everybody's doing good, like mentally and physically. So
I love it. Hey, you do a great job. Now, last question for me before I let you go. But Gabi, what do you want your fans and viewers to be taking from this season of Cheer, and most importantly, taking from you from this season?
So I would say what I would want like all the people watching this season, the biggest thing to take away is really just be grateful for like every single moment and every single second that you get within life. Like even if it's hard times, like you should always be grateful for everything that you have in life, because you really never know what can happen, because life is really full of like unknown things that can happen at any point. And I think that just being grateful for everything in your life is like so important, whether it is good or it's bad. Like just be grateful for the things that come to you, especially the good ones, like especially the good positive things, and just know that even if you do have something thrown at you, you can always overcome it. So
Such a beautiful person, Gabi Butler. I am such a fan of you and the rest of the cast of Cheer. So truly honored and grateful for you taking time today.
thank you. You're so sweet. And I
Thank
would love
you.
to come back on here and just talk to you. I could talk to you for hours.
I would be honored, truly. And everyone at home, make sure you guys are checking out Gabi Butler in season 2 of Netflix's series Cheer. You will not want to miss it. Gabi, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.